I'm moving to China because what the fuck, America?
The American government has undone about 80 years of anti-Chinese propaganda in less than a week after TikTok users started flocking to Red Note, which goes by Xianghongxu in China, as TikTok is supposed to be banned over the weekend. Well, after people saw that they're able to cover their necessities, Americans had a lot to say about our system, from the price of rent, groceries, medical bills, to the lies we've been told about China, like the social credit system and child work exploitation. But what I think shocked people the most is that they're able to cover all of their necessities and have extra spending money working a single job. Here's a compilation of videos I got on my For You page.
I'm moving to China. Fuck New York City. I am moving to China tomorrow. So I go ahead and create my Red Note, right? And I'm thinking that this place is like North Korea. Like everybody's living in poverty, they're oppressed by their government. Oh my God, is all I have to say. The first thing I say, you guys really have to work more than one job just to survive and like have a home and food? What? Americans are showing their medical bills and the Chinese don't know what to do. They're like, what? Like they can't even believe it. They're like, ours is free. And when you go to the hospital, it's like $100, including treatment. And then people are showing their ambulance bills. Because our ambulances are thousands of dollars. Theirs is free. Free. And don't even get me started on the grocery hauls. These people go in these grocery haul. Like I've never even heard of that word here. Like we're just like, eating crackers to survive here, to pay rent. Like they're hauling groceries that like would be worth like $1,000 here. But for them, it's like nothing. And it's all healthy, high quality food. Hence why they're all skinny, gorgeous, and their skin is perfect. So I just don't have words for this. And their trains look like they came out of the year 3000. It literally looks like out of a frickin' movie. And there's no homeless people. And they're immaculate. And like extremely high speed. Like New York City subway. Like what the fuck are we doing here? Their cars and phones are 10 times more technologically advanced than ours. And affordable. And you know what's funny? We can't have them here. We're not allowed. They're banned. They're banned. And do not even look up Chinese kindergarten. Don't look it up. It'll make you so mad. I almost swan dove out my window when I saw Chinese kindergarten. Meanwhile, in our kindergarten, they can't even teach children, like, what's a boy and what's a girl. And they're teaching kids that they can identify as animals here in our country. So, I don't think we're the problem. I really just don't think that we're the problem anymore. And this one's my favorite. They're all confirming that they don't have a social credit system like we've been told. But you know what we have over here is a credit score. We can barely do anything without it. So it's just almost like they're telling us that they have things that they don't, but we are the ones that actually have them. Interesting. So if you want to ruin your day and cry yourself to sleep every night and rethink your entire life and society and everything you've ever been told, go make a Red Note.
Xiaohongshu is pushing me to tears, and I'll explain why. For 25 years, I've thought that when people say, I was so happy I cried, they're exaggerating. I thought it was a myth. I didn't think it was real. I didn't think that you could cry from being happy. I've never experienced it, and I don't know anybody that's ever experienced it. I thought it was only in movies. The Americans know already what I'm going to say, but life in America is vicious. If you are not willing to decimate the person next to you, you might not survive. And even if you do, it will not be an enjoyable experience. For as long as I've been able to speak, I have expressed the idea that either I was not made for this world, or this world was not made for me, because I don't feel comfortable in a system where I'm expected to hurt innocence. I got on Xiao Shu, and everybody is so kind. Not only is everybody so kind and welcoming and open-minded and curious, everything that's been missing from American life, everything that I've wanted from life, is there, is on Xiao Shu. Not only that, but they live the life that we were promised. As children, we were promised that if we went to work, if we told the truth, and we did the right thing, we could live a good life. Maybe you won't have everything. Maybe you won't have a yacht. Maybe you won't have a helicopter. But you'll have the important things. You'll have love. You'll have family. You'll have things of your own. And it was a lie. And getting back to what I said about happy tears, I had abandoned the idea that I could ever live a happy life. And that app has renewed my hope, has given me something to live for, has given me a goal to attain. I'm gonna cry again, but thank you.
So I just spent my lunch break like scrolling through Red Note, and someone had posted, like, for all of my Chinese friends, what questions do you have for us Americans? And I'm just blown away by how we are perceived as being this incredible, wealthy country. People are like, I'm floored right now. I'm absolutely floored. People asking, are you really not allowed to have an abortion? Is there really gun violence every single day? Like, I've heard about it, but I don't know. Oh my gosh, that's so scary. Like, why can't you guys afford food? We're told that a one-person salary can easily sustain a family of 4 in a large house. And we're like, nah, like, we can barely afford to eat right now. Like, what? And then I come back over to TikTok and I'm watching all of these bullshit videos of our elected officials just gaslighting the shit out of us, you guys. And it's so frustrating and I don't know what to do. It's bullshit.
So I'm on Chinese gun red note, and I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of crazy. Like I thought Chinese people couldn't even own guns. That America had me thinking like they are strapped over there. They are strapped. They are strapped, dog, just as much as us. They got Gen 5s and switches too. I promise you. I'm telling, bro. Do not believe the bullshit. I'm dead serious. My brother was a gun enthusiast before he died, bro. Them niggas is strapped. They got sticks, blicks, glicks, all that.
I wish I recorded this today in my class. Student is playing a video mad loud in class. So I'm like, yo, bro, can you turn that down? And as he's proceeding to turn it down, I'm hearing a different language through his phone. I'm like, what is he listening to? Comes out, he's on Red Note. He's like, I'm not on TikTok, mister. I'm on Red Note, learning Mandarin in the middle of my class. So I'm like, yo, bro, say good morning. How are you doing in Mandarin? He full out said it, and it was correct too. We went on Google Translate, fully perfect. Yo, American government. Y'all really found yourself in an F around and found out moment. If you have kids under the age of 18 willing to learn a whole different language just to show y'all how truly powerful we are.
Yeah, if you have any meta stock, I'm just doing you the favor of giving you the insider info that I got at dinner last night from my mom, who is a Facebook mom. She said, yeah, if you want any of the documentation that I have kept up on Facebook over the last 20 years of our entire family's life, the birth of your nephew, your high school, college graduations, anything like that, get it off my Facebook because I'm deleting it on Friday. I'm not disabling it. I'm deleting it all the way. All the pictures and everything, all the videos, all the posts, all of it, your sister's wedding, every single thing is gone on Friday. Because that's how fed up my mom, who is a little bit of a local celebrity on Facebook around these parts, is with Facebook. They're so fed up that I did not even tell her about Xiao Hongshu. She downloaded that on her own and asked me if I had an account. They're not going to Meta, Mark. They're not. They were already there. Surprise. The user overlap with Meta and TikTok is a fucking circle. So they're just going to leave your platform for hurting their ability to scroll on their favorite app. There's your insider info. Dump all your Meta stock because the Facebook moms are fucking leaving, dude. The core audience of Facebook is leaving. They're burning their photo albums. They don't care. Gone. Get out now.
Yo, the government think we pussy? Nah. All jokes aside, the government think we pussy or some shit? What you mean? Y'all don't like TikTok, so no more TikTok. Who the fuck is y'all niggas? You telling me January 19th at 12 o'clock, TikTok not gonna be on my phone? Are you good? I'm not jacking it. I don't believe that shit, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even in denial. I just know they not about that, bro. They not finna take this shit, bro. You know who we got young niggas. You thought them white people that ran up in the Capitol in January of last year was crazy? Don't even worry about it. We got young niggas and shiesties. We got the shiesty boys. Talking about, it's a national security threat coming from outside the country. Oh, you want a national security threat in the country? Take TikTok off my phone. Take TikTok off niggas' phones. You gonna see a beamer flying into the White House. I scroll on TikTok before I go to sleep. I scroll on TikTok when I wake up. I scroll on TikTok while I'm driving. What the fuck you want me to do if you take y'all think we Vaughn? We not Vaughn. Y'all not finna just take the shit. Okay, what the fuck I'm gonna do with my time? Be productive? This not Vaughn, bro. This not Flappy Bird. This ain't none of that. This TikTok, bitch. Y'all take this shit away, the whole country finna look like California. We gonna light it on fire. Oh, China gonna get our data. Bitch, I'm a creator on the app. They got my social. I'll go give them my data. I don't give a fuck. Niggas think they finna take this shit from me. They must not have seen my For You page. I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let y'all tear it down just because y'all don't like the way another nigga look.
The Supreme Court just upheld the ban on TikTok, and here's something that nobody is talking about that I would like to share with you. There is 3 branches of the United States federal government: legislative, executive, and judicial. The TikTok ban went almost unanimously through the legislative branch, which is Congress and the Senate. Then it skated right on over to President Biden's desk, executive branch, and he signed it into law. Then the ban went all the way through the court system, all the way up to the highest court in the land of the United States of America, the Supreme Court, and they upheld the ban. Now, I agree. It is damn sad that 7 million people just got laid off. I'm sad for myself, I'm sad for future creators, and I'm sad for the millions of small businesses out there who rely on this app to make a living. But the saddest part of this entire fucking thing is that the United States government just looked its people square in the fucking face, right in the eyeballs, and said, your voice doesn't matter, and it never fucking did. They sell you the American dream. They sell you the freedoms that you think you fucking have, and then they turn around, they strip you from them, and they said there's not a fucking thing that you can do about it. Fascist countries ban apps. And for all the fucking people who are about to hop on here and say, if you don't like it, move, fuck you. I love this country, and I love the people in it. And that's why I'm fighting so fucking hard to keep this motherfucker free. In 2 years, vote your fucking ass off. Democracy and the American dream has just fallen. It's up to you and me to take it fucking back.
I saw a post on the Red Note app that said, I'm American, ask me anything. So they started asking us about our healthcare system, having insurance, how much money we have to pay for like medical bills and whatever. And after long conversation of going back and forth with the Chinese people on the app, we explained to them that sometimes having high medical debt coupled with like other debts can lead people to being homeless. And they did not understand why. And so we had to explain to them how things affect your credit and what collections companies are. Tell me why. They didn't understand what a collections company was, first off. Like, I guess that's not a thing in China. But when one of the Chinese guys who was like responding to our comments was asking about collections companies, the only words that he could understand it as in China, when we had to translate his comments from Chinese or Mandarin to English, he was calling collection companies robbers and gangsters. That's the only thing that he could think to just, oh my God. Tell me if we're in the bad place. Tell me right now. I need to know.
I just know if I was the United States government, I would feel a little mortified right now that by trying to ban a kids app with illegitimate claims made by obviously greedy, obviously corrupt politicians who have literally been paid out within public documents that we can access, like clearly they have been paid to execute this ban. In the effort to do that so that they can make money on Metastock when it rises after they force us off this app and onto that one, I just know they're like, oh fuck, because they just accidentally did more for the international relations between America and China than they have actually accomplished in literally the existence of the United States government, because they pushed their people into Red Note. And everyone there is like, wait, I kind of fuck with you, and a language barrier is not that hard. And you guys honestly seem really chill, and will you please tell me more about your culture, and wait, teach me how to say that bad word? Like, we're literally in middle school again. We're literally making friends again. They have worked so hard to break us into these echo chambers of dangerous, misinformed ideologies around which we've been told to structure our identities and worldviews. They forced us into a completely new place with an entirely different culture. Bro, I would be so embarrassed if that was me. Like, there's literally nothing better in the prevention of a war between America and China than all of us being friends on fucking Red Note. How are you gonna make money off the weapons manufacturers now? They'll figure it out, trust, but no, whenever the next thing comes down about what China is doing, that is why. It's because they want to kill people and make money on weapons. That's it. Bye.
SCOTUS really screwed themselves with this whole potential TikTok ban, and I have proof. I tried to tell my 14-year-old like what's going on in the news, especially politically right now. He did not care yesterday morning when I told him this is what's happening, TikTok might get banned. He was like, haha, you can't spend any time wasted on that app anymore, blah, blah, blah. Then I picked him up from school. Y'all, when I say Red Note app is the new Skibbity toilet, I'm not even joking. He told me everyone at school has downloaded it. He's in 9th grade. Everybody's downloaded it. Everybody is using the correct Chinese pronunciations. Mind you, we live in Florida. People already speak, a lot of kids speak Spanish and English. They're out there learning Mandarin and talking Mandarin to one another. High schoolers are more Snapchat, Instagram, and now they're migrating to Red Note.
So like everybody else, I'm learning a lot about China at the moment, and I'm hearing all these claims like, oh, in China rent is only like $600 a month, and family of 4 can get groceries for $70 a week, and there's no property tax, there's no credit score, and like things are just so much cheaper, quality of life is so much cheaper. And I took it with a grain of salt because I'm like, oh, they probably just make like way less than us. Like, you know, maybe their salary is like $20,000 converted to USD a year. So I looked it up, and their average salary is $48K a year converted to USD. You know what it is in the US? 33. They make more than us, and they're living. That's more than I fucking make.
I'm just having eye-opening conversations with people on RedNote where I was asked like 10 minutes ago, what do you eat? What do you eat for 3 meals a day as an American? And I had to be like, oh, I don't eat 3 meals a day. And they're like, why? And I was like, well, I can't afford to. I'm single and I work 3 jobs just to maintain ownership of the crappy house that I'm in now. So what I do is I wake up in the morning and I drink a cup of coffee and I take my medication that helps me not want to unalive myself during the day. And that also takes away my appetite. It gives it back for a brief moment, but between the depression and the medication, I usually don't want to eat. So it's okay. It's okay that I can't afford to eat because I don't want to most of the time anyway. And then for dinner, it's it's anyone's game. I take free stuff wherever I can. But most of the time I just try to like get something going in the slow cooker, like a roast and potatoes or carrots, something that will give me the bare minimum of protein and carbs to keep going. And they didn't know what to do with that. And then I was asked, is it true that you have to pay for ambulances over there? Like if you have a heart attack or something, like you have to pay to like be taken to the hospital in an ambulance. And that was an eye-opening conversation because I'm sitting here and it's the 7th year after the last time I was taken anywhere by ambulance, and I never paid that bill because it was for 11 miles and it was $19,000 7 years ago. And I never paid that, so I sort of had an internal celebration when it fell off my credit report, which they don't have in China. Finish your dinner, my Chinese friends, because there are starving people in America.
TikTok getting banned should radicalize you, because what do you mean that you're about to ban an app headquarters in Los Angeles? What do you mean that our Congress could not agree on banning guns, but you're gonna ban an app that helps Americans make money? What do you mean you're gonna ban TikTok, but you're not gonna force Meta to stop selling our data to foreign entities? What do you mean you're gonna ban TikTok, but you're not gonna stop predatory practices from insurance companies? What do you mean you're gonna ban TikTok and you're not gonna have universal healthcare? Or while we're at it, canceling student loan debt, which by the way, TikTok helps people pay their bills. What do you mean that the first thing that Democrats and Republicans agree on is making our lives more difficult? What do you mean that you're gonna ban an app? Like, I don't know, I was in Egypt recently. I couldn't see Al Jazeera out there, a Middle Eastern eye. Like, this is the kind of shit that fascist governments do.
Ni hao, what means that show? Tally. I'm already learning over there. I don't feel no type of way about the TikTok ban. I'm already a Chinese citizen. I'm trying to get up in there. They already done lied and tricked us, telling us China did this, China did that. We walked over there, China said, hey y'all. They was over there like, let me teach y'all my language so y'all can get into it. Now I was a little nervous at first, but now we all on Shahan Shul. We all over there on that red no app. It's real cool over there. But I still like TikTok because that man, he really fought for us. I ain't never seen a Chinese man fight for us a day like that in my life. Never. So I'm gonna be having fun over there. They just mad because we learning so much. Y'all keep tricking us. Y'all already told us Africa look like the slums. Africa is beautiful. Y'all done told us Chinese people, they are enemies. They happy to see us. They said we was their enemies the whole time. So basically, we've been getting played in America. They thought they was gonna take away an app that's owned by a man that's in China, and we was just gonna accept that. Nah, we done packed up our bags and we done moved over there to a real Chinese app, and then now they finna take all our data. Oh, when they take my data, they gonna see a lot of XXX on there. They gonna judge me real bad, but we ain't really got nothing to hide because what are they gonna find from Americans? Well, from using iPhones, we don't even know what's going on over here. We done got lied to our whole life. Now we woke. Now they mad. Now they trying to extend the ban because now they like, oh no, they done went on the Chinese app for real. Nah, we good over there. We good. We chilling. We cool. I don't feel away. Y'all going around interviewing everybody about their little app stuff. TikTok. That's cool. I'm gonna find me a boyfriend over there. I'm gonna get like 2 or 3. I gotta learn more about the culture. I gotta learn Mandarin. All I know how to say is ni hao, and the other thing I said what means is shu. My name is. I learned how to say that. Hopefully they got a Starbucks over there. When I'm done with this court case, I'm moving over there too. Hopefully they ain't all short like America try to make them. I need me a tall one. But we gonna get on here and I'm gonna act right. You ready? I'm gonna act right so they can invite us over. My name's She Tally over there too. Go follow me. What you mean it's live? Now they're gonna think we ghetto, man.
What are wages like in China? I'm gonna let you know what one of my commenters said. And it's translated, so some things might be off. The first thing to know is that income and consumption must match. It varies from city to city. For example, in Beijing and Shanghai, there are stable jobs in these cities, and the salary is usually about $800 to $1,300 US dollars. In some small cities, wages are generally $500 to $1,000. For example, I'm an electrical engineer working in a small city near Beijing, and I have $1,100 a month after tax, but I only need $300 a month to live. Then they replied to another comment saying, I make very little money in China, but it seems that a high percentage of it can be used for living. As a necessary expense, I rent a 50 square meter apartment for 450 RMB or $61 per month. Water, electricity, and internet less than 100 RMB, $13. Because I can't cook, I order takeout every day. About 1,500 RMB, which is $200 a month. Could never in the United States. And it is the company's bus to and from work. Because I'm unmarried, there are 5,000 RMB at my disposal every month. Let me math that real quick. That's $682 in US dollars. Wowee.
Well, I gotta tell you something. We have been fed so much bullshit. You really need to go and sign up for Red Note. Just go and peruse the site. It's mind-blowing. The kindness, the generosity that the Chinese people are showing to the Americans who come on there, the way they're welcoming them. Yes, they're asking them to follow the guidelines of their app, which is standard practice. But when you start looking at what you see on Red Note versus what the governments have been handing us for propaganda and bullshit, my God, man, I spent a couple hours just going through the site, and really, it's worth the time for you to just sign up, go onto the site, and you don't even have to set up a full account to go and look. But, like, the amount of money that they have to spend on groceries, for example, is peanuts compared to what we pay here in Canada, and I'm sure the same in the U.S. It's like night and day. Their world there is so much better than the way they portray it. They're not a repressed people. They're intelligent. They're not what they try and tell us, that they are evil. China, 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 as Trump would say. Go have a look. Seriously, you're going to get a rude awakening about the truth and the propaganda that we've been hand-fed for years, that China's our enemy. They're not our enemy. Our enemy are the people who sit in those fancy chairs in Congress and Senates and politicians. The rich, the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world, the people who hand us BS. I have to say that I got an education in the last 24 hours, just going through that site, watching various videos. Now, it's not TikTok. It's more of it's slightly different than TikTok, but it's good. And it's unbelievable to see how many people will welcome you. Go have a look. Take care, my friends. God bless. And let's put an end to the government's nonsense, both Canada, U.S., and around the world. China is not an evil place. China is not a place where they repress their citizens. I mean, yeah, there's things they can't do and things they can't say. But they live a healthy and prosperous life there. It's different. Go see for yourself. Give me your feedback when you're done. I'm curious to know what you think. Take care, my friends. All the best.
Xi Jinping, if you can hear us, please save us. Please save us, Xi Jinping. Get these geriatric old Congress people away from me. Xi Jinping, if you can hear us, please save us.
You're telling me that in China, a communist country, that I could go there and buy a home, like I pay the mortgage, and it is mine, for 70 years. That is my property. I don't ever have to worry about losing my job, getting sick, or just not even being able to pay the bills. It's mine. And then when that 70 years is up, all I have to do is renew the property tax for a small fee that's nowhere close to the amount that I would have to pay in America. Wow, what a concept. You're telling me that the only property tax that they pay on their vehicles is a small vessel tax that is attached to their insurance that they pay? What a concept. You're telling me that public spaces such as museums and zoos are free because it's a public space? What a concept. You're telling me that you can work a part-time job, and as long as you don't make over 5,000 of whatever their currency is, that you won't be taxed on it? What a concept.
I've been on Red Note for a few days, and I'm humbled. As an American, I'm very humbled. I don't have that very many followers right now, but just seeing what I've been scrolling through on Red Note, they are far more advanced than we are. Their cities are gorgeous. And I'm talking about the smaller cities, and some people that live in the south of China. This one girl sent me a text of photos of a park, and I'm like, we don't have parks like that. Their parks are far better than ours. And here's the thing, they can afford lots of food. They have affordable cars. Their roads are better than ours. Yeah, we're screwing up. America's really screwing up on a lot of things. Our government has lied. I'm gonna stay on Red Note for a little while to see how it works out. I'm still gonna be posting on TikTok until it gets banned. But seeing how China really is has been very humbling.
I'm moving to China because what the fuck, America? I made a friend over in China through Red Note, and they told me that China has public school for college. Guess how much it is? Wrong. $650 American per year. I looked up the average price of 1 year of college in America. $30,000 is the middle for 1 year. And we have to go for 4 years for a degree. I'm moving to China. Are you kidding?
It's okay, we're on Redbook now.
Are you already on that?
Yeah,
we're
on
little
Redbook.
Zhao Hongshu all the way.
Zhao Hongshu. 我说 Jose.
What?
你好吗？我是 Elliot. 新汉晒用红的红红通嘅，新草的毛毛上东嘅。
You're actually really impressive with the Mandarin. I should know Mandarin better than you.
Bro, you gotta lock in.
I'm gonna dial that.
Zhao Hongshu, baby. Zhao Hongshu.
The video of that lady crying because she heard that in other countries people can't afford a home, people are not paying 20% of their income on groceries, people are working less than 40 hours a week and still being able to have money for hobbies and things like that. We told you guys that. This is not a new phenomenon. You guys, the majority of people voted against having an actual livable life because they didn't want certain people to have access to it. You guys didn't want universal health care. You guys didn't want universal Medicare for everyone because certain people would be able to have access to it. And oh God, I would rather them live harder than they need to and me have to pay out, because you thought that you would always be the breadwinners of the states. But now they're coming for their crumbs from you too. And now you're sitting here crying, and it's not like, I get it, because you weren't the person who made that decision, but your legacy, the person who left you this legacy, didn't care about how you would suffer from these consequences, from these decisions. They only cared about themselves. When they talk about generational wealth, they thought they was passing down a gold bar. It's a gold nugget. And it's probably not even gold now. It's probably gold plated, 10 karat. Like, I find it hard to empathize with certain people because no one cared to listen the entire time. The brainwashing and the propaganda that has been let out is astonishing. I am not going to Meta nothing, because the fact that they're even trying to now do reverse psychology, oh, we're getting rid of this to protect your data. Bro, every time there's a data breach, all you guys do is give us 99 cents and then 3 months access to the place that had the data breach. You're not closing these banks down. The only people who lose a business is a small business owner. Let a bank go bankrupt 14 times, all of a sudden we're the biggest socialist in the world, and we have money to give them to make sure that we can uplift them back. But you're a small business, you're a woman-owned business, you're a black-owned business, you're this, you're that, you're a struggling college student, right? You don't need nothing. You need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You need to work 2 and 3 jobs. You need to develop an autoimmune disease. You need to have migraines and headaches. You need to have a reason for that acid reflux to be there, because you can't afford vegetables, because God forbid, if you do get one, it has listeria in it. The fact that people have been telling you for years that this is a brainwashing and we're all in a cult drinking the Kool-Aid, and no one failed to believe it because black women are always yelling and black women are always aggressive. That's what y'all wanted. But we was telling y'all from the beginning. You think they got rid of their slaves? No. No, they didn't. You're one now.
If TikTok being banned does not radicalize you as an American citizen, you are intentionally missing the point, because it's not about TikTok. It's the fact that Republicans and Democrats across all legislative branches can expeditiously and unanimously pull together like never before, and probably never again, to streamline legislation banning a social media app while completely ignoring everything important to us. They can't pull together to make sure my kids don't get shot while they go to school, to fix the economy, to mandate livable wages, to kick hedge funds out of single-family homes so I can afford my fucking mortgage again. They're doing fuck all about homeowners insurance, stealing billions of dollars from Americans, and then leaving them for dead while their homes wash away in a flood or burn to the fucking ground in a fire. They, like every other country, can't pull together to outlaw the poisonous substances that are put into our food, creating an epidemic of obese, diabetic, cancerous Americans who need to lean on a healthcare system. They do fuck all the mandate in way of quality of service or cost. They won't give us free healthcare. They won't invest in infrastructure or education, but all of their efforts collectively go to banning a social media app. California is on fire. North Carolina and Tennessee washed away. New Jersey has geoplasmic orbs over it. Our kids get shot in school, and our economy is on the brink of fucking collapse. But their top priority is banning social media. That's where the effort goes.
Why don't you ask them how their standard of living is? Okay. Wait, no, don't actually talk to them. You can't do that. They don't have to have their credit checked for an apartment. They can just buy it. Give me that fucking phone.
This whole time I thought they were just afraid of us learning about other philosophies, other political ideologies, because that would threaten this late stage capitalism that we're in. It's simpler than that. They can afford groceries on the other side of the world, one of the biggest countries in the world, the biggest population. Every time we talked about the healthcare system, the pharmaceutical, the food, the pew-pew, lack thereof regulations, every time we pulled examples from other Western countries, what is the thing they always come back with? Well, they have a population of 50 million and we have 350 million, so it would never work here. It would never work here. It would never work here. Tell me why. They're eating fresh food for 90 cents US. And the conversion, but people are in beautiful apartments. They're eating fresh food. They are enjoying and celebrating their history and their culture. Deodorant is $11 here. The minimum wage is $7.25 pre-tax. Hasn't moved in decades. In no county in the entire United States could you work 40 hours a week at a minimum wage job and be able to afford a one-bedroom apartment. That is the point of minimum wage. It all goes back to what every single revolution is about, always. Food. As in, they really, it's not even just, we need to make sure that they know that these other forms of government will never work. They don't work. Okay, I don't have a PhD in economics or in social, political climate, international politics, whatever. But what I do know is that they're eating good and fresh over there. Inexpensively. And we're not. I recently had an income increase, and the first thing I did was go to the grocery store. I am not kidding. I didn't even ball out, but I spent $250 on food. The second thing I did is I went and I got things like tissues to put in every room. Instead of getting one tissue box for the whole apartment, I put one in every room. I have soap. I just mean backup soap. Like, normally I would have one little thing for a backup. I got 5 backups now. Fucking A.
I'm chatting with a new friend in China, and their law schools are $798 per year. Which just makes me feel so angry because I have like $450,000 in debt just to go to law school. And I'm explaining this extremely fucking bonkers system that we have, and I'm like, this is a slave contract because I'll never be able to pay back these loans for my entire life. Or in my lifetime, I will never pay back my student loans without a loan forgiveness program. Ever. And I am just so fucking angry that this is the system that we are forced to deal with, that this is the system we are fucking stuck in and trapped in, and I'm fucking sick of it.
I've been lied to my whole life, and it's really, really, really embarrassing to be an American right now. It's really painful to know how much of my life has been wasted and how much money has been wasted and taken from me. And I'm traveling now outside of the United States, and I'm realizing how much better it is elsewhere. And I've only been to a couple countries and different cities so far, but I also am realizing how much we were lied to about China. And I know that we've been told they're our enemy, and yet we have so many products from them in our homes in America. But it's people around the world can afford to live and enjoy their lives in a lot of countries, and in America we can't. That's why I left. I couldn't afford to live there and not work 7 days a week. And I have been out of the country since September, and I am living comfortably, and I'm not running out of money unless the government decides to take some money from me. I'm okay, but I'm embarrassed. I'm really shattered and really disappointed. And people ask me where I'm from, and so far I've told people where I'm from, but I always cringe inside, and I'm like, I don't want them to know this. And most people know I'm American anyway, just looking at me. A lot of them say, oh, English? But I haven't said I'm from Canada just because it's hard for me to lie. But I always cringe, and I've met some people who've said, oh, I want to go to America, and all I can think is, oh my God, don't. Just don't. And I'm looking forward to going to China. I was going to go in the fall. It looks like it might be 2026 now. We'll see. But I want to visit it in person. It's absolutely beautiful. I realize that one of the things that's really struck me is, we're waking up. We're waking up even more, and there is no going back from this. Now that so many people have discovered Red Note, and it's all over TikTok now, until they take that away from us, it's just really, it's uplifting because so many more people are waking up to how much we were lied to about China. And yes, I know China has issues as well, but I'm grateful for that because there's no going back. We can't go back now. And the government can't lie to us anymore. And we're just going to say, oh, okay, they've lost control of us. And going forward, we're not going to go back to just being subservient and saying, yeah, okay, well, this is the way it is. And this is, we have to do these things and we have to obey. And there's no going back. And that's the beauty of this. There's no going back now. They can take Red Note away from us. That can be destroyed. We'll find another way. But we have communicated enough on TikTok, and we're communicating enough on Red Note now. Thank God that our eyes are wide open to how much we've been robbed, literally robbed of all our money. And, it's not a quick solution. We've done a lot in a few days, and I'm really, really grateful for that. I'm on Red Note, and I'm going to stay there, and I'm going to continue my travels, and my eyes are going to open even wider. And, I hope that one day I can proudly say, yes, I'm from America. I want to live long enough to be able to proudly say, yes, I'm from the new America, the really free America. And I know it's going to happen. I just hope I live long enough to see it. That's all I got to say right now.
我们已身注定是山上，可以来用手去走不呀，朋友啊，看我们一起朗朗并起呀。我们已身上的情一场。
So I jokingly said the other day that China is about ready to get a really big culture shock from all the Americans joining the Little Red Book app. But actually, I think it's gonna go both ways because I just saw this video and this lady was like, okay, I'm over on Red Note or whatever. And the Chinese are very quick to tell me that I'm fat, but also inform me of ractopamine, which if you go down the rabbit hole of ractopamine, it is a feed additive that is given to livestock in the United States because it's banned in 160 nations. Okay, so the United States gives our livestock, specifically swine, 60 to 80% of the pork that we eat in the United States is given ractopamine. It's a feed additive to make them grow quicker and bulk up quicker. So they were kindly informing this lady of the ingredients in the food that we're eating in the United States that is making us chronically obese and chronically ill.
People on Red Note were asking me how much things cost over here. We all thought that Americans only need to work 3 or 4 hours a day. No one around me has 2 jobs. 2 full-time jobs is unimaginable, which is crazy hearing that come out of the mouth of someone who lives in China, based on what we've been told. In China, you only need 1 job. Thanks, let us break from the false propaganda. This is completely different from the America we know. By the way, for the record, I just was answering what the median price of groceries is a week, what the median income is for just a middle class person in America, things of that nature, how much gasoline costs, rent, all that. The American people are too tolerant. I agree. It's good that I'm in China. If I was in the United States, I'd probably be sleeping in the streets. This is not the America they talked about. We've learned that you all work 5 days a week with a maximum 8 hours a day. You work and you go out to drinks and barbecue. Your gasoline is extremely cheap. Your salaries are very high, and the cost of goods is incredibly low. Your university is so expensive. Damn, capitalism exploits the people. So yeah, this is all pretty upsetting.
So I just found out that the cost of rent in a small town in China is $50 to $100. Those nice, luxurious apartments in New York City that cost thousands and thousands of dollars is like $300 to $500 in China.
I'd love to know if you agree with me on this. I think even if TikTok gets saved at this point, I think that the kind of culture of the app will change forever. This has been a very agitating and radicalizing experience for a lot of people, for tens of millions of people. And it kind of feels a little bit synonymous with when you know that people break up for a day and then get back together. It's oh, the foundation of that relationship is not that strong, huh? And there's all these rumors that are flying around that also shake people's confidence, where there's rumors that Elon Musk might buy it one day, and then, oh wait, it actually might be Mr. Beast another day, and then, oh wait, it actually might be Mark Zuckerberg, or actually it might be Kevin Leary from Shark Tank. It's in the relationship analogy, it's how many people are you cheating on me with, if anybody, right? It's very weird, right? And I just wonder if even if a ban gets lifted at this point, if people will not always have 1 foot in, 1 foot out now from this platform. And I wonder how that will change the culture of the app if people go back to it. I don't know. What do you think?
The TikTok ban and the mass migration to Red Note is now having international effects on Meta. You can really tell that the US government was floored when we decided not to go quietly into the night when TikTok was banned and head back to Meta or X, but instead decided to mass migrate over to Red Note. And we really have gone in droves. They've received over 700,000 new members in the past couple of days, and I don't even know if that's an up-to-date number. That's what I heard this morning. It's the #1 app on both the App Store and the Google Play Store, and not just in the US. Because heading over to Red Note has now become a massive international movement. It's the #1 app that's being downloaded right now in the UK. I heard that it's trending in France. They're saying our American friends are going over there and we don't want to lose our American friends, so we're going to join them. Which means that people are now effectively participating in an international boycott of sorts on Meta. Not even including the actual boycott that's happening with Meta, where their stocks are absolutely plummeting. Mark Zuckerberg spent millions of dollars lobbying politicians to get TikTok banned, and it has only ever shot him in the foot. Currently, I'm really not seeing a timeline where TikTok is saved before the 19th, and it does sound like TikTok is going to be shuttering all operations come Sunday. They could just allow the app to fizzle and die, and they're kind of taking a stance here and saying, no, we're closing doors. Which I really respect. It's a statement, it's a protest, and I think it's fantastic for them. But at the moment, I am just very pleased that Mark Zuckerberg seems to be getting absolutely fucked over.
Deodorant is $11 here.
Isn't it fascinating that one of the first things that happened because of this Red Note cultural exchange between people in China and people in America is that they finally realized how effing expensive everything here is relative to other places in the world? And I'm here honestly about to make you way, way, way mad, because Europe has had these prices forever because they actually have a working government that controls what are considered essential goods and keeps them at acceptable prices. And I come with receipts. I took this footage when I was visiting Germany over the holidays because it just shocks me every single time I see it. All these menstrual products. Organic, specialty menstrual products. Do you see the prices? They start with 1s, 2s, 3s, 4. Even the period underwear, which is a reusable item, is $14. That was the most expensive item I found on these shelves. Even these super packs of 48 tampons are €5.95, €4.95. It is extremely affordable versus here in the US. I also noticed that most of these boxes did not have plastic applicators. In fact, you can't buy tampons in the US without plastic applicators in the stores anymore, because that's what everyone needs right now, more plastic. In comparison, I found some screenshots of similar products, all with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 in front. Menstrual cups, not $8, no, 20, 30, 40, 50. And don't even get me started on diapers. My child no longer uses them, but it just boils my blood to see how expensive it is, on top of everything else being more expensive here in the US. So I'm pretty happy that people are finally wising up to this and hopefully can demand change from these multi-million-dollar corporations who have no problem pricing things reasonably in other countries, just not here.
Posted on Xiaohongshu a video of my Chick-fil-A grilled nuggets. I got a 12 count because, trying to stay in shape. And said that it was about $10 or 73-ish yen. People are freaking out that is incredibly expensive.
The only thing that brings me comfort during this entire TikTok ordeal debacle bullshit is y'all can take the app away if you want. The damage is done. The damage is done. I have never seen revolution and class consciousness is mainstream. Mainstream. If you were to bring up this topic last year, 6 months ago, no, you're crazy. You're delusional. These are conspiracy theories. The government would never try to control you. The government is all for the people. Blah, 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 blah. So now that we've seen that that's not true. We've seen that that's not true. So there's no going back. There's no convincing us that the other way of life was the only way, the correct way. We've seen that in China, they're paying $300 and less for an entire house. Okay? I can't even buy groceries with $300. Enough groceries to last more than at least 2 weeks. Nope. No, $300 will last maybe a week. Maybe a week. I'm not even fucking kidding. And y'all could be like, oh, you're just not shopping right, blah, 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 blah. Not all of us want to eat processed bullshit every fucking day. So yeah, I'm going to fork over a little bit of extra money for fruits, for vegetables, for fresh food, for meat. And it's fucking expensive. One goddamn T-bone is $25 at Walmart. $25 for a slice of meat. So like I said, the damage has been done. If this is even what you want to call damage. People are aware, people are conscious, people are ready for change.
I have been on the Red Note app for a few days now, and I have learned so much. But I just saw this post, and someone was like, is there a homeless crisis, or there are homeless people like there is in America? And someone said, there's not really homeless people, there's homeless cats. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. Another person said some people are in debt because they bought too many houses. The Chinese people traditionally like to buy houses, so some of them have mortgages that are gonna take 30 years to pay off, but they bought too many houses.
See, it was all good when it was all good, but now a bitch is getting aware. I'm too aware. This little Red Book app has me too aware. And I can't go back once I start knowing shit. Our government, quite frankly, does not fuck with us. And we knew this. We knew this. I knew this. You knew this. But being on the Red Book app is putting it into visual perspective. It's putting it into visual perspective. Do you see how the Chinese are living, guys? America is considered the leader of the world stage. Yet we have one of the most highest homelessness population rates compared to other underdeveloped countries. Do y'all remember a few years back when there were so many videos of Chinese people having to live in storage container units because of the homelessness or because of the population? Yeah, I'm here to let you know that the homelessness rate in China is 0.18%. 0.18%, and their population is 1.4 billion people. Here in America, our population is 32 million, and we have a homelessness rate of 2.04. 2.04. That's roughly about 700,000 people. America is the only developed country in the world that does not provide some form of universal health care. In China, 95% of its population is covered by basic health insurance. Their health insurance is provided through government-supported or mandated health insurance policies and plans. Here in America, majority of our health care comes through private sectors, meaning a lot of us have to pay a premium. We have to pay out of pocket. In China, they don't have annual property tax. So once you pay off your mortgage, that's it. It's yours. The land is yours. It's yours. You lose your job today, you have a place to stay. In America, and we're still dealing with a housing crisis that our government doesn't want to do anything about, but they want to take away TikTok because through TikTok, we find out how much they're fucking us over. The Chinese government has more policies put into place to make their residents become owners rather than keep them as long-term, lifelong renters, whether it's vehicles or housing. They have more of the chance, more of the possibility of being an owner than the average American. And y'all heard how I said 95% of their population is covered under basic health insurance, right? 95% of 1.4 billion people. Here in America, we have 8% of our population that does not have health insurance. In numbers, that is 2.56 million people who do not have health insurance here in America. But we're paying taxes though. Y'all are increasing taxes. Yet we have 2.56 million people walking around without basic health insurance. And don't get me started on their goods. Don't get me started on their goods. Have y'all seen their electric cars that are under $10,000? Some of them are under $10,000, and they're outperforming any luxury car that we have here in the United States. I just saw a car get fully submerged in water and still performing. Yet we have this fucking eyesore of a fucking tank called the Cybertruck that's catching on fucking fire if it gets overheated. This shit is making me too hot. It's making me too hot. Like, I'm dead ass. Luigi's game about to be multiplayer. Because what the fuck? What the actual fuck are you guys doing over there? Y'all forgot that y'all work for us? Why don't we have universal health care yet? We are the only developed country in the world that doesn't have some sort of fucking universal health care. Why? We are really a third world country with a Gucci belt, bitch. We don't even have the Gucci belt. It's Fucci. It's Fucci. Everything is fake. Everything is fucking fake. We have a housing crisis. We can't afford groceries. Our kids are getting shot up in schools. You're taking away the autonomy rights of women because you want to force us to fucking have kids because you want to make sure that your future companies have fucking workers. Y'all literally... And now y'all want to take away TikTok. I hope TikTok is the 13th reason. I hope it's the fucking 13th reason and these motherfuckers start to revolt on y'all asses. I really do hope that Luigi's game becomes multiplayer. Dead ass.
United States royally fucked up because I'm on Red Note. This probably could have been the worst outcome for the United States. They have been trying so hard to get us to hate China, right? And now we have an open window to see how they live, okay? I just watched a video of a man who said that they don't pay property taxes after the mortgage is paid off. So that's why there's not a lot of homeless people. I mean, I'm assuming other reasons too in China, is because once people pay off their homes, it's their home. They don't have to deal with the rising taxes, that like property taxes. There's a bunch of people who live in my neighborhood, older people who had to leave, right? And I'm sure in other communities too, because the property taxes became too much and they couldn't pay those taxes off of no income or like Social Security, right? And so that people are now learning about these things, hearing about these things from people living in China. Yet we've been told that China is like the worst. This is like honestly probably one of the worst outcomes that could have came from this TikTok thing, at least for the American government, because now we know what to ask for. You know, we have a higher bar to reach for. You know what I'm saying? We can ask for more from our politicians. We can ask for change in our laws. Anyways, very, very eye-opening for me.
Are you ready? All right. I'm sure that we have all experienced someone telling us when we talk about how bad it is here in America to go and see what the standard of living is in China. Well, we took your advice. And I can guarantee this was not the outcome they were expecting. Did you know in China that 95% of their population own their homes? Did you know in China that they have almost completely eradicated homelessness? It is 0.18% if you want to be exact. Did you know in China that there are no credit checks or credit scores? Did you know in China that law school is under $800 a year? Did you know that the people in China thought it was made up that the children here in the United States, well, the ones that can afford it, need to purchase a bulletproof book bag? Did you know that the people in China think that it's so wild that us Americans feel like we are truly free because we have the right to have opinions, but we don't have the right to make any choices? Do you know that TikTok is banned in China? And if you let our government explain it, it's because China's a communist country and they want to control what you see and what you say. So America is following the footsteps of a communist country? But it's not against our First Amendment rights taking it away. Got it. You see, they like to demonize socialism and communism because it does not benefit the elite. Our government is saying that it's constitutional what they're doing here with TikTok. Do you want to know what else is constitutional? The right to protest our government. The Declaration of Independence states that Americans have the right to replace their government. We have a right to change or abolish a government that is destructive to our rights. Biden gets on TV and warns us that an oligarchy is forming. My friends, we are already in an oligarchy. The rich and elite already control everything. These are all things that we already know, but things like, oh, I don't know, TikTok put it into a visual perspective. America has quite literally gaslit us when it comes to everything. We are aware, and they do not want that. Our American government thinks that we are all stupid. Pretty much everything is public access. You just need to go look for it. Have you seen how many politicians have bought stock in Meta since this TikTok ban has started? Fucking wild. Did you know that between Zuckerberg, Bezos, and Musk, just those three men, that their net worth is almost $1 trillion? But we have over 40,000 veterans homeless on the street. Collectively, there are almost 700,000 homeless people in the United States. And did you know that there are almost 16 million vacant homes in the United States? Did you also know that over 50% of Americans are just one missed paycheck away from being on the streets? Did you know that they don't pay property taxes in China? So if they own their home and just so happen to lose their job, that is still their home until the day they die. Do you remember when I said that the American government likes to gaslight us? Yeah, they have gaslit us to actually thinking that we own our shit, but the reality of it is we lease that shit. So in America, if your home is paid in full and you just so happen to lose your job and you can't pay your property taxes, guess what? They will take your home. The point of my video is this, and I'm going to quote my friend Thorin. Right now, none of us need to be Republican or Democrat. Right now, we all need to be Americans. Knowledge is power, my friends, and division is a tool of the empire. Understand the power that we, the people, hold.
If you're American, don't go on Red Note, because if you go on Red Note, you'll realize how garbage America really is. They was in the comments of people's posts asking them, y'all really got to work 2 jobs? Y'all healthcare really not free? We're in hell. We're in hell. You don't want to know that.
A Chinese person on Xiaohongshu said Americans think they are free because they get to have opinions, but they don't get to have choices.
So now we know why America didn't want us to see what was going on in China. And if you don't know, head on over to Xiaohongshu and check out those grocery hauls. Red Note. Go to Red Note and check out their grocery hauls. And if that's not a slap in the face for you, look at how much they spend on healthcare. Look at how much they spend on rent. We looking like a big joke in America. And if you want to get technical, somebody that just started using Red Note from America asked one of the Chinese people to tell them a joke. And you know what they said? Americans think that they're free, and we're really not. That hurt on every type of level that can hurt on. Are you serious? It makes sense now why they want to ban apps, why they don't want us knowing certain things. Look how these people are living over there, and then look at us. And not saying that that place is better than over here, because I wouldn't say so. But what I'm saying is, look how we have to go so hard over here. Minimum wage is how much? $7.25. Who can live on minimum wage in the United States? I'll wait. We don't own no land in the United States. Shit, we don't own anything in the United States. Scrolling through, seen another video. This guy said he is spending $80 a month for rent. 80 United States dollars a month for rent. Oh, man. Yeah, this shit is way bigger than a TikTok ban. Way bigger. America, you got some explaining to do. We want to know something.
If you're jumping onto Red Note and you're wondering why are the Chinese people so happy, so welcoming, so cheery, why do they dress better? Why do they eat better? Why does everything look better over in China? I have a very simple explanation for you. The Chinese Communist Party is the ruling party within the state government. And even though they do have a whole bunch of restrictions on what you can publicly say about the Chinese government and a variety of other issues such as LGBTQ rights and things like that, the fundamental difference between China and America at this point in time is the fact that in China, corporations, big businesses, big tech, all of that stuff exists at the behest of the Chinese government. Whereas over here in America, the American government essentially exists and operates at the behest of the corporations. It's why over the last election cycle, we saw everybody kowtowing to Elon Musk, APAC, all of these different gigantic corporate interests. One of the most notable examples of this is the owner of Alibaba, which is, their version of Amazon Prime and all of that stuff, right? A while back, China decided that it was going to increase regulations on corporations and essentially billionaires, right? And, Jack Ma didn't really like that. And he tried to do some things in the public eye outside of China that resulted in no one's really seen him since. The summary here is that he became such a large business that the Chinese government said, okay, it's time to reel you in. And for the longest time, starting in 2020, when his business started to really grow thanks to the pandemic and lockdowns and all that stuff, he was not seen, I think, for a complete year straight. Now, he's been cited in, various other Far Eastern countries doing stuff like that, but he's not been in the public eye. He hasn't gone to huge tech events. He hasn't done TED Talks or anything, like that. And for those of you who are curious, that's the fundamental principle of communism, Marxism, socialism, all of that stuff, is that the means of production, these gigantic mega corporations, businesses, all that stuff that bring all this revenue for 1, 2, or 3 people at the tippy top, all of that is converted into redistributing that wealth to the people, whether it's by creating more jobs, whether it's by giving better wages, better benefits, cheaper goods, or in some cases, literally taking that wealth and redistributing it into society, making better homes, cheaper homes, better hospitals, all of that stuff. And if there's anything that I hope people get out of this experience on Red Note, whether it's short term, long term, whatever it may be, is that here in America, we could have that. We could have that. We could have what the Chinese people have if we just got people into office that actually cared about us enough to sit Elon Musk down and say, hey bud, you're going to do stuff for the American people, and if not, then you can take all of your business to China, which then they will take your stuff and give it to the people. What's the pick a side here, bruh?
Fuck a new app. Enough with where are we going after TikTok closes down, because I think y'all are missing the point. Loud reminder here that over 10 years, we have never seen a more politically divided system than we have today. Left versus right. But there's one thing over the past 10 years, one thing that both sides of the aisle have unanimously and quickly agreed upon: the banning of TikTok. They say it's because of national security, but we have many, many politicians on this app using it right now. They specifically said in their hearing on Friday that they were worried about young people growing up and then ending up in positions of power in the government with TikTok having their data. The last two presidents of the United States are on TikTok. They've been on this app for years campaigning. This is what it's really about. And they said this verbatim on Friday. Their main concern is that this app will cause Americans to rise up against leaders in our government. Let me say that again so it sinks in. They are scared that this app may finally cause the American people to begin to oppose their political leaders and take control of their own government. They're already seeing it happen and they need it to stop, okay? Not a coincidence that the ban goes into effect on January 19th, literally the day before power shifts in the White House. Not a coincidence that they packaged the TikTok ban with a bill that provided over $10 billion of foreign humanitarian aid to further incentivize members of Congress to vote for the banning of TikTok. Not a coincidence at all that they don't give a shit about Temu, an app that has over 70 million American users that collects way more data than TikTok does. It has way less safeguards currently in place from the Chinese government accessing that data. Not a coincidence that every major corporation in our entire country has been lobbying and paying off our government officials to vote for the banning of TikTok. Did we all just forget that 2 years ago Facebook paid GOP firm to malign TikTok and was boosting messages calling TikTok a threat to American children? It's no secret that Meta stands to make billions of dollars from this shutdown. And by the way, guess how many members of Congress and the House of Representatives personally own stock in Meta? Yeah, try all of them. And by April of last year, Meta was one of the top 10 stocks that members of Congress and the House of Representatives were purchasing. Still think they're just banning TikTok because of China reasons? Zoom out even further. TikTok is not just a danger to our political leaders, and it's not just Meta and Instagram, guys. TikTok is threatening every major corporation in America, messing with all of their money. Amazon's biggest competitor is TikTok by far. Netflix, streaming services are all competing with TikTok now. They're fighting for your entertainment hours. Every hour you spend on TikTok, you're not spending watching one of their shows. And the numbers prove that. Streaming has declined drastically over the last 5 years in the United States. Hollywood is absolutely screwed now. We've completely changed that industry. I mean, even look at how we interact with celebrities and movie stars now. We're totally disillusioned with all of it. We used to treat TV stars and movie personalities like they were figures to worship. Now we don't let them get away with anything. We just troll them all day on this app. Spotify, Apple Music, the entire music industry is completely flipped upside down on its head because of this app. Labels can no longer gatekeep and control what music we listen to. We get to choose ourselves. It has completely leveled the playing field for independent artists, and labels don't like that because now they can't make money off of our music. Every major news source has lost viewership. They're all laughing stocks now. Nobody watches the news unless they're over 65 years old. And don't even get me started on the biggest one of all: Big Food and Big Pharma. Remember all the protests we coordinated against Kellogg's and Heinz and how much money they lost because we all band together on this app? TikTok has allowed us to pull the veil away from the American people and realize how these big corporations are literally poisoning us and then trying to get us addicted to medication to solve the problem that they caused by poisoning us. I mean, do you really think Luigi would have made ripples the way that he did if it weren't for this app? Even gym culture has skyrocketed because of this app. People are taking better care of themselves. I saw an article recently that says Planet Fitness is starting to lose money because people are actually using the memberships they're paying for. The alcohol industry is in complete disarray. Wine is being consumed less. Hard alcohol is being consumed less. People are going to bars less, all because of this app. We're realizing how toxic and dangerous alcohol is to our society. That's the real threat. Every major political and economic power that has been built up over the last 150 years in this country to turn us all into livestock is being severely threatened by TikTok. But it's not just TikTok. It's America's ability to communicate with each other without interference. This entire fucking system only works for them if we cannot communicate with each other directly. That's why it doesn't matter what fucking app we go to next, guys. It's why Red Note or Neptune or going back to Instagram or YouTube Shorts, none of it matters. Unknowingly, this app created a revolution in this country and absolutely changed the way the American people communicate with each other, and that's what they want to get rid of. They want us all to go back to 2015. I just wish we we were asking less, what app are we going to go to next, and asking more, how are we going to combat this blatant corruption in our government? Everyone is praying that once TikTok goes away, we'll just quietly shuffle over to another app that's controlled by the United States government and just go about our lives. And I don't know, based on what I'm seeing this week and how defeated we all are, I'm worried they may actually get what they're hoping for. If someone has a plan of action, please drop it in the comments, because I don't think it's enough for me to just download another app. We need to start doing something about this.
Okay, I was scrolling on Xiaohongshu, aka the Red Note, and I came across this post. Basically, the American people are asking Chinese people, can you tell me what's something Western media tell us about China that's totally incorrect in reality? Now, I'm a born and raised Chinese. I moved to the United States like 10 years ago. So I have lived in both countries for a fair amount of time. So I know for a fact that which are the lies and which are true. But let me tell you, my jaw was on the floor when I read the comments because they are just like beyond imagination. Let me read some for you. This one says, we don't have a credit system to evaluate each other's behavior, which is true because a lot of people are asking me about social credit in China. I was like, what are you talking about? Now, mind you, I still go back to China to visit my family and friends every year, so I'm not like out of touch with them. And also, no child labor in China. I got asked about this all the time. There is no child labor in China, okay? I think the Western media said something about like there are children's sweatshop all over in China. They make like $1 a day. Where did you get that from? Like, what? And also this. 99% Chinese do not eat dogs or cats. Okay, in the past, some regions have that tradition, but it's gradually abandoned, which is true. Those are the regions, like in the past, we're talking about like decades ago, they have very limited food resources. So they actually farm dogs, just like we farm pigs and cows here, to as food. But now, even for those remote regions, we have plenty of food now. Food is not scarce anymore. So those tradition has been gradually abandoned. And a lot of people in China also been protesting to abandon this tradition. Also this is so funny. I've never heard of this. Like, is it true 83% of Chinese population work for Shein? And this person answered, nobody knows Shein in China. Which is so true. Like, Shein, there's no Shein in China. And 83% of population, like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, do you even believe that? Do you actually believe that? And this, I assume that you are all working for $3 a day like they told us here. And this person answered, which is true, okay? In small city, it's like $5 an hour, yes. And in big city, it's like around 100 a day or more. I know this is not a lot compared to what we have here, but the living cost in China is so much more affordable than us here. And nobody has to work 2 jobs to be able to buy food or groceries. And also for a lot of Chinese company, we're not talking about foreign companies in China, okay, because that's a different landscape. But for most Chinese company, it's a pretty standard practice to provide free lunch to their employees. Some even go further to provide free breakfast and free boarding or transportation. So their working environment is actually much better compared to what we have here in the US. And there are so many more lies that the Western media or government has been perpetuating this whole time. Like, I would love to talk more. But right now, I'm just so happy to see that people from both countries finally start to interact and communicate with each other, have some meaningful conversations. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. And I think that's something that the US government don't want the American people to find out by banning TikTok. But I bet they did not see this coming.
The best part of everybody moving over to Xiaohongshu or Red Note for Americans is that not only does the American government hate this, but we got white women crying. We got white women on the For You page crying about how their life is so miserable here in the United States compared to China, who don't have to work as much, who get free education and healthcare. 95% of their population has a home. And this shows you what happens when you have a socialist economic policy and you have a fucking communist party in your country. People are finally finding out what communism actually is about. It's about socialism. It's about putting the power in the hands of the people and creating a society that works for us, by us. This is not to say China is perfect, but it's because it's not. But they have been able to adapt in the world where America has been destabilizing any country who even tries socialism. Now all of Americans are on there comparing healthcare bills and shit, realizing that we can have a different society and have it work for us. If anybody knows, when white women start crying, shit starts happening. And usually it's a bad omen, but this time it's for the American government.
I really think America has made a huge mistake when banning this app, because now that we're all on Red Note, we're actually learning that a lot of the crap that they've been talking about China is absolutely not true. We're like, wait a second, you guys have universal healthcare? You don't have to pay for an ambulance when you get picked up to the hospital. You have amazing cars for very low prices. Huawei, the amazing phones they have, are also so much better than iPhones. And all of that is forbidden here. We cannot have any of that. Wait a second, you can walk at night outside and not be afraid? There's no mass unalivings in schools? What? What's that like? And I had someone comment on my Red Note being like, now that you're here, I hope you can see that we're not the beasts that, you know, your news made us seem to be. And I was like, we never thought you guys were. I feel like we always knew it was bullshit. And yeah, no country's perfect. There's a lot of issues everywhere in this world. But it's very interesting. We're learning much more, I think, than they wanted us to know. And I think that's not a very good idea for our government. Also, I'm shocked by how quickly people are picking up Mandarin. Like, I feel like you guys need to teach me, how do I do this as quickly as you? Because it's incredible. Like, Americans from Alabama are now speaking fluent Mandarin in like 3 days.
You mean that it never had to be this hard for us?
The answer you are looking for is racism. And I don't know if you actually want to hear this because you have your stitches off and duets, but the reason we don't have universal health care, free education, or anything nice for that matter is because of racism in this country. And I'm really trying to have compassion and empathy for this woman who is clearly going through a dark night of the soul moment, but it shouldn't have to directly affect you for you to care. This is why they say you have to listen to marginalized voices, Black, Indigenous, and people of the global majority, because sooner or later, these things are going to impact you.
With the amount of Americans learning Mandarin on Duolingo spiking by over 200%, I'm certain we're seeing a cultural shift in what Americans will demand from their government. But I'm curious, have you used Red Note? And if you have, I'd love to know what you think of it and if there's anything that gave you cultural shock. But that's all I got for you today. If you enjoyed this video, YouTube thinks you'll like this one as well. Thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.